Mia leaned back on the sofa, swallowing a quick-acting heart-saving pill. Luke, seeing this, rushed over in panic to help her catch her breath, crying as he said, "Mom, what's wrong? Please don't scare me. Should I call an ambulance?" Mia waved her hand, signaling him to back off a bit. Luke took a few steps back, unexpectedly kneeling down with a thud, pleading, "Mom, I was wrong, I know I messed up. Please help me, talk to Cora. She listens to you the most. We can't get divorced. Our family can't fall apart. Neither of us will be happy if the family breaks up, and the two kids are still so young." Feeling a bit better, Mia scolded him sternly, "If you knew this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? You know the family can't fall apart, so why mess around outside? Is it that hard to control yourself? Get up, and look at yourself." Luke crawled over to Mia, speaking softly, "I didn't expect things to turn out like this. That day, we had a team-building event, everyone gathered for drinks, just a normal drinking session. You know I get a bit excited when I drink too much, and then that girl kept flirting with me. I'm a normal man, Mom, and it was in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't control myself." Mia pushed Luke away, "Don't talk nonsense. A young girl could force you?" Luke said, "She's not an ordinary girl. There have been rumors about her sleeping with clients for a long time. She's very open. After that incident, she acted like nothing happened, didn't care, and didn't bother me. Mom, I swear, as long as Cora forgives me and doesn't divorce me, I'll stay far away from her. There won't be a second time." Uninterested, Mia turned to look out the window. Luke sat next to Mia, hands on his head, "I'm such a jerk. My wife is so good to me, gave birth to a pair of twins, and my mother-in-law treats me well, treating me like her own son. I'm not content and committed such a huge sin. I might as well be dead." Mia glanced at him, a grown man, always talking about death. "You really have no backbone. Don't say those useless things. I'll think about this again. Everyone is not calm now. Let's talk in a few days. Don't pressure Cora, let her think it through." After Luke left crying, Mia calmed down for a moment and sent a WeChat message to her daughter Cora, asking her to come over. Living nearby, Cora arrived in 10 minutes, sitting in front of Mia with a haggard face. "Have you thought it through? Is divorce the only option?" Mia asked. Cora nodded, "I feel disgusted just looking at him now." Mia said, "Okay, after the divorce, what's your plan?" Cora said, "I'll live however I can. Does the world stop turning if I divorce him?" Shaking her head, Mia said, "You're still too young, thinking too simplistically. Leaving aside other issues, the two children are only 4 years old. How do you plan to support them? The house and car were bought together. How do you intend to divide them? After the divorce, how will the children cope emotionally? What about the discrimination they might face as they grow up? Can you support both children? Are you comfortable giving one to Luke? You're still so young, do you plan to remarry in the future? Don't think I can support you, I'm getting old, busy taking care of myself, and would only burden you. I'm telling you, there's a lot involved in this." Looking confused, Cora said, "I haven't thought about that much. Take it step by step. At this stage, I really can't swallow this anger. Thinking about his conversations with that woman on WeChat makes me sick. I can't sleep at night." Mia said, "All right, you're not calm now. Put this matter aside for now. Bring it up when you've thought it through." After seeing Cora off, Mia sat alone on the sofa, wiping away tears, physically and emotionally exhausted. Accurately speaking, Luke was someone she personally approved of and introduced to her daughter Cora. Originally, Cora didn't fancy Luke, and it was Mia's repeated efforts that brought them together. She was quite confident in her life experience and judgment of people, but Luke managed to create such a mess, poking a hole in her trust in him. Luke was clever, he knew that in this family, the mother-in-law held an almost imperial position, her words carrying a lot of weight. Cora was a bit of a mommy's girl, particularly obedient to her mother. The next day, Luke, carrying bags and parcels, arrived early to knock on the door and went straight to the refrigerator to organize things. Mia asked, "What are you doing?" Luke smiled, eager to please, "Mom, I went to buy groceries this morning and brought you some. The roads are slippery in the snowy weather lately. If you don't have anything to do, it's better not to go out. My colleague said the hospital's orthopedics department has seen a lot of elderly people with injuries from falls these days. If you need anything, just let me know, and I'll bring it to you." Mia said, "Oh no, I have to go out this afternoon. Our senior choir has a rehearsal, 3 times a week. Luke thought for a moment and said, "Then I'll take you. It's convenient for me to come from the office." Mia smiled and nodded, "That would be great." Luke's workplace was on the east side of the city, completely opposite Mia's home. In the past, Mia wouldn't have wanted to trouble Luke, but now she felt indifferent about whether it was inconvenient or not. A man with a family who commits the disgraceful act of cheating needs to endure some trouble if he wants to seek forgiveness from his family. This is necessary for him to learn a lesson, otherwise, forgiving him so easily wouldn't make much sense. Since Mia learned about the affair, she never intended to let them divorce. The reason was simple: divorcing Luke might punish him, but it would also punish her daughter. Leaving Cora as a single mother with 2 children, relying on a meager child support payment and dividing half of their property, would be too harsh. Mia wanted to be practical. She believed that if she could understand things, Luke could too. So now, she just wanted to see how determined Luke was in repentance and how far he could go to salvage this marriage. Reality proved that Luke was quite resilient. Not only did he attend to Mia on one end, but he also played the devoted husband in his own home. He took the initiative in doing household chores, stayed at home with the children during holidays, and frequently organized family dinners, taking care of this and that at the dining table, keeping himself busy. His actions weren't limited to his own family. Even his parents from his hometown, upon hearing the news, became cautious. Mia received several shipments of local specialties from Luke's hometown. After living this way for 2 months, Mia felt it was about enough. On a weekend afternoon, Mia called Cora over for a conversation. "Mia, alright, I feel that Luke genuinely realizes his mistake. Let's forget about the divorce, give him another chance." Cora, expressionless, "Luke was your choice for me. If you're worried that I'll resent you for this, you don't need to. I won't blame you." "Mia, that's not what I mean, Cora. You're still young, and there are things you don't understand." Cora smiled. "Mom, he made a fundamental mistake, crossed my bottom line. Of course, I know many people can accept and forgive, but I can't." Mia sighed, hesitated, but after much consideration, she spoke. "You might not know, but your dad made a similar mistake when he was young. The year you were born, he went with a construction team to lay power lines in another place. A fellow villager with whom I had a good relationship secretly told me that your dad had someone outside and another family apart from ours." Cora was shocked. She couldn't believe that her seemingly weak and honest dad could do something like keeping a mistress. Mia continued, "At that time, I thought about getting a divorce. I took you back to my parents' home. Then your dad, your grandparents, uncles, and aunts, one by one, came to our house to plead with me to forgive him and go back to living a good life with them." Cora asked, "Did you forgive him?" Mia smiled, "I didn't, but later I went back with him." Cora said, "And then? How did you live your life? Can you pretend like nothing happened? That doesn't sound like you, Mom." Mia said, "At first, I couldn't accept it, but later, I found that I could gain a lot, and I mean a lot, from this incident." She rubbed her hands. "Before, my relationship with your grandma was average. Since then, she hasn't dared to neglect me. Your dad used to not give me all the money he earned outside. Since then, I've had control over the finances. Your dad's personality changed too. I wouldn't say he's trying to please me, but in the end, he always considers my feelings. Later, your uncle's job, he also actively helped arrange that. Cora, don't be impulsive. Let me tell you the experience of someone who's been through it. Even now, in this changed era, most people still don't want to get divorced. Because divorce is trouble, it's a loss. Leaving aside your pride, not many people can live better after a divorce." Cora stayed silent. Mia straightened her back. "Because I didn't get divorced, I've always stood on the moral high ground, enjoying the hidden benefits of endurance. Why did I match you with Luke? Because I thought he was similar to your dad. He's not the kind to break things off in a fit of anger. He's the kind of man who can mend what he tears. You should be smart now. Don't think about divorce, think about what you can gain from this." Cora mumbled, "What can I gain? What do I want to gain?" She turned to look at the aged Mia, remembering when her dad was diagnosed with cancer. She wasn't sad, didn't worry about his treatment. When he passed away, she didn't shed a tear, accepting reality so calmly. At that time, she didn't understand why her mom, seemingly grieving in silence, was afraid she couldn't let go and stayed with her every day. Now she understood, her mom had been waiting for this day, just like she said, "I endured him to death." But over these years, who has really been enduring the suffering? It seemed like her dad, but in reality, her mom wasn't as carefree as she claimed. In a marriage, if one person endures suffering, the other person is inevitably enduring a different form of pain. The so-called hidden benefits of endurance were just self-consolation, a psychological victory. Even she didn't realize that the phrase, enduring to death, was said through gritted teeth. Cora ultimately went through with the divorce. Both children stayed with her, the house was hers, while savings and the car went to Luke. On the day the paperwork was completed, Luke squatted at the Civil Affairs Bureau, crying, claiming his life was over, with no home and no chance to start anew. Upon hearing the news, Mia hurriedly rushed over, pulling Cora aside and stomping her foot. "Are you confused? You didn't listen to a word I said." Cora retorted, "Have you been truly happy sacrificing half of your life for the sake of others?" Mia was stunned, shouting towards the departing Cora, "How are you going to live in the future? Alone, raising 2 kids? Do you even know what you're capable of? Why act like an independent strong woman?" Cora replied, "I'm not trying to be some independent strong woman. I just don't want to be a repressed one. I'll figure out how to live in the future. If you lend a hand, I appreciate it. If you don't help, I won't blame you." Mia was left speechless, wondering why young people nowadays are so impulsive and struggle to weigh pros and cons. Cora had already walked away, leaving Mia without answers. She took a detour on her way back, passing by the kindergarten where the 2 children attended. It happened to be outdoor playtime, so she leaned against the fence and watched for a while, suddenly remembering that Cora was once carefree and innocent, just like these kids. Mia had undergone surgery, removing 2 benign tumors. Every day, she watched the falling leaves and birds outside her window, transforming herself into a carefree person. After that, she managed her betrayals and misfortunes like a ruffian, extracting benefits from her own flesh and blood. In this process, she gained psychological balance, eventually letting go of resentment and enjoying a relaxed life. Thinking about those days, Mia smiled with a hint of tears, thinking it's probably for the best that Cora, this heartless girl, doesn't have to experience those things. The reckless path she chose to confront betrayal and misfortune, whether it's better or worse than a straightforward journey, Mia couldn't say for sure. Times have changed, and so has the environment. However, she knew she had genuinely walked the winding road, spending the majority of her life on it. Looking back, she could now see a bright future, but with age, only a feeling of darkness remained in her heart.